we're going to keep it rolling here. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Look, we're doing a good job here amongst the tariff tantrum, if that's what you want to call it. A lot of volatility, a lot of different things to play, seeing a lot of opportunity here in a huge bounce. Currently, where do you stand with this whole thing? What are you looking at stock-wise and play-wise here?
I actually could use a little help from you in the audience.
Oh, how about that? All right, folks, let's help Adam out. What can we help you with?
This is, listen, I'm not a fundamental guy. I know you're not either. We trade momentum. We ride what's hot. I get it. I mean, I put extra money in my account. When the markets go down like this, I get excited. I'm looking for a huge opportunity. Yesterday, I was trading, and I was probably down 12 or 13,000 when that fake tweet announcement that there was going to be a 90-day pause on the tariffs hit. And immediately, I was up $12,000 and probably should have been up 100 if I had the fortitude to realize we were going to make a 7% up move in the NASDAQ in 5 minutes, which I've never seen before in my life. Fine. I actually bought puts near the top to preserve my positions that were going down when it retraced because it was a rumor. But here's the thing. The Qs were around 405, 406 before this fake tweet came out that there was going to be a 90-day pause, right? They went up to 440, and then they never came back down. They came back down to like below like the 420 area.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're having a major bounce today. They did nothing other than say that rumor wasn't true. So is it? I guess it's just confusing for me that one tweet could send the market up that much. It was a fake tweet, but we don't come back down. That would be like, imagine a biotech stock. They're like, phase 3 trial approved. And the stock goes up a crazy amount. And then they're like, no, we were wrong. It's not approved. The drug doesn't work. But the stock doesn't go back down all the way. The market usually doesn't make sense to me, but in this particular case, why are we up?
So, okay, I'll take a stab at that. First of all, you're not alone, right? This entire fiasco here has everyone puzzled. One of the things that I had said here to open the show was that one of the things that big move yesterday really showed is that this market was just waiting for any excuse to bounce. It did not care to confirm whether that rumor was true. I think you also saw algo-driven buying in that panic candle up that you were referencing there that took us the Qs to 440. It just seemed to me like the oversold sentiment was so great. The sentiment, well, I shouldn't say that because the overall sentiment was so poor. The market was so oversold that we were really looking for a bounce. So when we had this kind of going back and forth, when we realized that it wasn't necessarily the end of the world, the market kind of spent the next hour consolidating around this area before it started to drift up, and it's drifting up here again today. So part of me thinks, Adam, that this is just kind of a regression back to the mean after just an absolute pounding that the market has took for the last 3 days. So I appreciate you trying to make sense of this. Good luck. If you do, let me know because we're still trying to do the same thing here.
No, you're right. I guess in listening to you, the analogy I would come up with is the market was waiting for a starting gun to start the rally. And it was a false start.
Yep.
They didn't care. They already started going, and it was too late. They were gone.
You know what? I like that. I think I might reuse that, Adam. It was almost like the start of a race, and there was a false start, but the market was like, nah, I'm already doing this here.
Yeah, I'm not coming back to the starting line.
Okay. Props to you on that one. I really like that analogy. I'm probably going to reuse that here today. So really good stuff. Okay, now given all of this,
sure.
How are you I guess let's start with what are you looking to trade here today? Are you still in some of these positions? Are you unwinding some of these positions? What are you looking to do here today right at the open?
So I think, it got to the point in the market where I didn't want to be, I wanted to pick a direction. Like you can't try to ride both sides of it because it's moving too fast. So for me, what always worked was to try to look for a slowdown in the selling, to look for a buying opportunity. I traded really well in the days where we've been down. I'm actually a little bit more concerned with a day like today. This is a more dangerous day for an active trader. If you're an investor who's getting beat up, you're psyched. You don't have to do anything. The market opens up today, and that's great. If you're active traders like we are and you come in relatively light, the volatility, I was getting a lot of phone calls. I was getting a lot of phone calls, my friends, the people that everyone's like, what do we do? And I was like, don't be greedy. I'm like, you see a move, catch a move. Don't think you're making $1 million on this move. Take the profit, take the profits. And that was the right thing, other than that one rally yesterday, which, by the way, went up and down too fast for most people to do anything.
Yep.
So the idea is that you don't want to be greedy. Now, with that thinking, in a market like this today, you don't want to chase this rally up. That could be very dangerous. You don't want to short a market like this. So it becomes more stock specific, right? Now, I've been watching some stocks. Some stocks that are supposed to be not impacted by tariffs. Like I use ChatGPT to see what are the stocks least impacted by tariffs, to try to say, okay, look around. So one of the ones down on the list came up as a stock I already like to trade is SoFi, right?
Okay.
So SoFi is not supposed to be that impacted by tariffs, other than if the economy goes bad, there's less money to invest. And so because we're not computers and we can't respond as fast as the market, yesterday when I saw that rally happening and I was already missing the indexes, like the indexes were too hard to trade as that rally is happening, I bought, SoFi was at like 960. I bought 200 of the 1050 calls for 20 cents and instantly made thousands of dollars. It shot at the point, but it was like a tertiary play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It makes it easier for me. So in a market where you're trying to watch stuff, what I'm doing is, if I can't trade with the big boys because I'm not a computer, then I'll look for something like a SoFi or Uber or something else that I'm trading to react to say, okay, we're going up. I'm going to buy this stock now, or I'm going to buy these options. And then getting out when the wave seems to pause to catch its breath, I'm getting out.
Okay, so a couple of thoughts there. So first of all, I think that is exactly the right way to do this. In fact, one of the things that we were saying yesterday when we were watching this power candle take us higher, I was saying, hey, my plan was to kind of wait out the beginning of the market. So I wasn't participating in that, although I did participate in TQQQ a little bit later. However, one of the things that we were saying is, look, this is a huge reversal. I think that you should probably at least pay yourself on the way up here. We had Scott on last week and he had said something great. He had said, we're traders, right? So we need to pay ourselves sometimes. And that really kind of stuck with me, especially when we were moving higher. So I was saying yesterday, you should probably be lightening or trimming into this move at least a little bit here. As far as, you were saying, you needed us to kind of help you out here. We did have a couple of thoughts here. Lion here saying, I'm selling any pop. I do not trust this market. Still a lot of bad news and no clarity on the tariffs. That's kind of what everyone feels here, it seems. Quantum Vortex, I don't trust this bounce either. Adam, like you, I took the SOXL overnight last night just because I'm trying to play the bounce here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm probably going to end up selling that here today. I'm looking to just kind of pay myself. I'm not necessarily looking to be greedy and overstay my welcome in some of these moves here. So I'm with you on that, and I also really appreciate you mentioning how difficult that was to trade yesterday, because some of these movements were really fast, and chasing was actually the absolute wrong move to do. You got punished almost immediately if you did that. So I'm with you here. I don't think chasing the move here is a good idea.
It is. There's two other things about that. Number one, it is crazy though, knowing how much money you could have made if you timed it right, how fast you could have made a lot of money, not risking a lot of money. Like you could have, the Russell, I had 120, 176 calls on the IWM at one point. And, I went from down to up and took a profit for $1,000, but that could have been worth $200,000.
Yeah.
My plan isn't ever holding, and that was ridiculous. And it's been right. The plan has been right, other than that 5-minute stretch.
And it seems like you're setting me up here perfectly. It actually seems like scaling out is the way to really take advantage of that, so you don't leave too much on the table. Folks, if you like what you're hearing here, get all of Adam's top option strategies in one simple training, and learn how he finds trades looking to print money every week. QR code here at the top of the screen. Throw the link in the chat as well. Okay.
By the
Are
way,
you
another weird thing is,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's weird that the futures bottomed overnight, not last night, the night before. Like they were down significantly more than they opened yesterday. So we never got to see that market bottom during trading hours. The futures had a bottom. I would have expected that we tested it in the market. We were probably on our way had that fake tweet not gone out. But it is a little concerning for the long haul to not have a real bottom test. Like what everyone said was, this doesn't seem like it's going to be that like V bottom. But the way we're up today, I don't know. Yeah, you can't chase this open this morning. But also, I do want to say that there's two different conversations. There's the long-term investing versus the active trading. The active trading is everything we're talking about. Long-term investing, on Thursday when we were down a lot, I put some money into Amazon, JP Morgan, and Meta, but that's forever. That's for years. And my plan I made with my financial advisor, that's my money that's put away, was, all right, if we go down another 5%, maybe we'll buy another tranche. I didn't go 100% in. I went like 15% in. And the next day we were down 5% again. He's like, do you want to buy more? I'm like, no, that was too fast. Like, that was too scary. I'm like, so yeah, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the face. In terms of individual stocks, I mean, like I'm looking at, I've been in the Core Z for a while. And Core Z trades, it's supposed to be traded with Core Weave. Okay. Everything, it's supposed to be a $12 stock, or just based on its deal with CoreWeave. Okay, the value is $12 per share. The reason why they traded down to $7 was because everyone was saying CoreWeave was going to fail, which would be bad for Core Z. CoreWeave IPO went better than expected, and then in addition, they just announced, or they're on the verge of signing Google too, along with OpenAI, NVIDIA. Well, they have the NVIDIA chips, and Microsoft. So this stock was, if you go back to last week, on Wednesday, it was about to explode at the close. Like it closed and then was trading higher. And then the tariff thing started and the market sold off. And Thursday it was down, but Friday it actually closed positive, which is pretty impressive considering what the market was doing. And then yesterday it was basically flat. The only thing is, in a market like this, people are going to buy the big names. So I don't expect this to rally just because the market's rallying, but it is interesting that it was positive on Friday. That, for me, was a good sign. It's my biggest position. We'll see what it could do.
And it looks like here, like it's holding the 500-day moving average, that value at 667. It's doing a really good job using that as support so far here. Yeah,
I feel good about it, but I feel better about the stock I own than the options. Like I'm comfortable in the stock at these prices. The options is, all right, when will it go up? I do like SoFi, but again, like this is where it kept bouncing yesterday. Maybe it goes to 11 on the morning open, but I'm not going to chase it beyond that. And then I don't know, like the Palantirs and stuff are moving like the indexes. Like the move in Palantir, to trade Palantir, it's just like trading an index. It moves so fast right now.
Yeah. I'm still waiting out 60 here on Palantir. I'd love for that 200-day to come up to 60 and give me an opportunity.
I thought you were going to get it. I thought those were like, I thought we were going to see NVIDIA down below 80, Palantir around 60. I was waiting for those bottom prices that we didn't get. What are you looking at that you like?
So long term, if we continue to roll over here, one of my top picks is going to be PanW, Palo Alto. I'm big on cybersecurity as a theme through 2025. You can take a look here at the daily chart. We've really come in off this double top right up here of 2 and change. We've come down to the 50-day moving average. We've done a really good job of holding it. PanW is actually still oversold right now. So I think if we get any type of extension on this bounce, you might have a possible move up towards 160 and maybe even through. Got a little bit of a gap fill up here to 164. But to answer your question mentioned PanW here, one I like for the long term. Another one that I really like for the long term is one that you mentioned here, Amazon. This is one that I trade around a little bit thanks to the group here who seems to trade it pretty actively. But this is also something I'd really like to just kind of add and throw in my back pocket and forget about. One more here that the entire group knows about, perhaps my favorite stock right now, Costco. Basically, anytime I get a chance to add here, I think this is going to be good. I think Costco is going to be able to manage the tariff situations really well. And I think if the consumer continues to tighten, they'll probably trade down or do more purchasing here at Costco. I say that because that's what I do. So we'll see if that ends up shaking out here. So there's 3 of them for you that I do like long term that I'd be willing to hold for more than 5 minutes if I get some pretty good entry on that.
Nice. So yeah, those are the names that should respond nicely this morning to a market rally. They're all big names, Amazon especially, Costco. Yeah, you're gonna get the full benefit of this morning's open with names like that.
And the other thing here about that is that because last night, like in the moment, I wasn't sure about what individual name I was going to play. And I was like, you know what? You've had good luck with some of these levered ETFs. Just stick with that. So my exposure here to this big move from what I carried over last night is basically through the levered semiconductor. Look, I got one more question for you. You've been so active and good with these. I can't let you go without asking you: do you have any interest in the quantum names? If we continue to see a market bounce here, do you think we might have any like big move on this?
By the way, I don't know how big your team is or how possible this would be, but if you remember one of our first interviews, if you remember when I called the quantum names on this show, when I talked about them, I was literally Qubits was trading at 90 cents when I brought it up. Like I wish we could go to the tape on that because that's legendary. I swear. Like when you say it, I remember being on here saying, "Oh, I'm going to be watching quantum for years." Anyhow, no, I'm not. I own Qubits. We have it in my private portfolio has been great because we collect dividends, we sell calls against our positions, we're paying for our positions every week. So it's been a very insulated portfolio, and I couldn't be happier how it stood up. And Uber is a stock we own, but Qubits we've been in, but we're in it since $1.90 in that service. So we sell calls against it. It's very easy to stay in. But the reason I don't want to buy quantum on moves like this is quantum, everyone said, is a multi-year play. It's nothing happening soon. And when you have emotion and panic and the market's tanking, you're like, I could always buy this later. That's something you're going to easily get rid of. And when we bounce, you want the stuff that's going to bounce now, not something that might move in a couple of years. So I know it's looking good right now, but I don't think it's the right play for this market because I think now is the quick hit you're looking for. That's my opinion. But okay. Yeah.
No, I think that's great. I think that's real great. And you know what? I will try and dig that clip up. Well, let's make a victory lap clip of that because look, any type of monster call like that, yeah, we'll absolutely promote that. That was really good. I do remember that. That's why I keep asking you about it every time that you come back. That move was insane. That move is insane. Okay, folks, real good stuff here from T3's Adam Mesh. Get all of Adam's top options strategies in one simple training and learn how he finds trades looking to print money every week. QR code at the top of the screen. Link is in the chat. Adam, thanks very much for everything here today. Anything else you want to leave us with?
Just a compliment. You know, my favorite thing is having a community. Like that's why I do what I do. Like when I grew up trading with rows of people, and then that got replaced in a virtual world. But it's only fun if everyone's involved. And when I look at your chat and I see all the different people writing in, that's energy that you could feed off of. And I always appreciate that. I appreciate an active audience. It means you're doing a great job involving them, and that makes it really fun to be here.
That is really, really awesome. I can't thank you enough. That is a primary goal of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to raise the boat for the entire community here. And yes, some of the feedback that we've got is that we do include everybody here. That's the whole goal. So the fact that you're picking up on that is awesome. Adam, you are a part of our community as well, and you're welcome back anytime. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Good luck today. We're going to check in with you next time when you come back.